What's up guys, Zeenigami here, and the Cavendish Sugofest batch is coming soon to the global version of One Piece Treasure Cruise. That's Cavendish, Sulaimon, or Lumbus, the Gama, Elisabet, and Ideo. Now these are the characters that are going to be in the global Sugofest batch coming on November 6th. Let's go over them one by one, just how good they are and how useful they'll be in the future for One Piece Treasure Cruise content. So Ideo Destruction Cannon. Ideo's captain ability is basically like a Nell. He boosts the attack of fighters by 2.25 and their hit points by 1.5, and also recovers 2 times his recovery at the end of each turn. So he's like a Nell, he's a 2.25 times boost with recovering. And if you put 100 cotton candies on him, he basically recovers for 800 at the end of each turn, which is a pretty significant amount, and also gives you a health boost while giving you a slightly less damage boost than compared to like Zeph or Jinbei captains. So if you, the only reason Ideo doesn't get used much as captains is a lot of people don't like to use fighters that much. Fighters are great though. I don't have a Zeph to use them myself, but Ideo, when paired up with a Zeph friend captain, very, very good captain. His special ability also boosts the, is a 2-stage special. You can use it either on a 1-stage or a 2-stage special. The level 2 or the stage 2 deals lots of damage, or lots of quick damage to all enemies, and boosts the attack of fighters and shooters by 1.75x for 1 turn. So not only is he a fighter boosting captain, he's also a fighter and shooter boosting special. So you can use him if you do not have a koala or another fighter to boost your attack. So Ideo Destruction Cannon for a fighter team is very, very good. And you can also use him as a shooter attack booster, but we got Zeph for that, or Zephyr for that. Then we have Elisabet. Now Elisabet is a very, very interesting one. Elisabet's captain ability, not as useful. Elisabet's captain ability is boost the attack of fighters and powerhouse characters by 1.5x, and boost the health of all characters by 2 times. His special is a 3-stage special, technically. So it goes to 1, 2, 3, and each one he slowly increases how much damage he deals in typeless damage, but he's got to rev up his King engine for his big old King Punch. And after you max out that special, it will still keep increasing the damage. So if you have no skill ups on him, starting turn 27, then it'll start going up very, very fast every single turn after the max special ups, or after stage 3 gets maxed out, will increase the damage of his special by 23.75 times per turn for 20 turns. Which means if you have him maxed out and you stall for 40 turns, he deals 500 times his attack to all enemies as typeless damage to all enemies. Not fixed damage, but once you start doing that much damage, you don't need it anymore. Elisabet is really fun to use on 0 stamina islands because you can use his special and that'll start dealing like hundreds of thousands of damage to everything. And since it's typeless damage, you know basically how much damage it's going to do to everything regardless of what type they are. If you want to use a zombie team for 0 stamina islands, there are ways to do zombie teams with 0 stamina islands, and Elisabet is the start of being able to do it. Elisabet, Raid Boss, Sabo, and Shiryu will on a zombie team will basically make all 0 stamina islands zombie-able with a few tweaks here and there. So Elisabet, not very good as a regular unit, but if you're going to be using a zombie team for any fights, any kind of zombie fights, he is so much damage with his special ability. 500 times your special is a lot of damage. Then we have the Gama. Gama's captain ability is reduce your cooldowns of all characters by 2 times and boost the attack of all characters. Reduce the cooldown of all specials by 2 turns, not 2 times at the start of the fight, and boost the attack of all characters by 2 times. So it's kind of like a Sengoku captain ability, but boost the attack of all characters by 2 times instead. Slightly useful captain if you want to get through 49 islands faster especially. His special ability reduces paralysis and despair by 5 turns. Paralysis is quite annoying and is very useful to get rid of. And it cuts the hit points of one enemy by 10%. So Gama most useful in reducing paralysis by 5 turns, because paralysis is very, very annoying to deal with if you get it. And 5 turn paralysis removal is pretty high. And then we have Lumbus. Lumbus is a Dex powerhouse striker. His captain ability is kind of like the opposite of Dex Usopp's in that it boosts the attack of Dex characters by 2.25 and boosts their hit points by 1.5 times. His special ability will empty all your block orbs or bother orbs. So it only empties bother orbs, it leaves all your other orbs just perfectly intact, and deals damage based on how many orbs you get rid of. After that, it'll also change empty sockets or empty orbs into matching. So if you have a bother orb, it goes from bother to matching and changes also from empty to matching. So basically makes bother and empty into matching and deals damage based on how many block orbs you remove. So with 6 block orbs, you will deal 500 times this attack as damage. And there are a few stages that give you full block orbs. And it can be quite useful on those stages. If you don't want to boost orbs, a lot of people would rather just go for Raid Boss Kuma, because Raid Boss Kuma will change block and empty orbs into matching, but he will also boost by 1.75 times. And the 1.75 times boost is not always, but usually more damage if you're bursting on that turn anyways than dealing 500 times your attack. Although 500 times your attack is a pretty significant amount of damage. That is 500,000 damage with that special. But that means it has to be all 6 block orbs. So if there are stages, or when there are stages that gives you all block orbs, you can always use that. You can use it on Duval Raid, that is true, because Duval Raid will give you all block orbs on stage 4 of on the mini boss Duval. It will give you all block orbs. You can use that special. You can deal tons of damage to that entire stage. Otherwise, a lot of people just use Kuma, so kind of useful special ability. Some people just prefer Kuma. Sulaimon is a Psi Cerebral Slasher, so you don't have 6-star Shanks. Sulaimon is one of your highest attack stat Psi characters there are, or Psi Slashers there are. And as a Psi Slasher Cerebral character, very, very good stats. Especially that 1400 attack is super, super good. His captain ability, not that useful though. It boosts the attack of Slashers by 3.5 times, but reduces the attack multiplier by 0.1 at the end of each turn. So you can use them if you want to do speed runs through things, but once you start getting past turns 6 and 7, you might as well just start using a Mihawk captain because it reduces in damage all the way down until he no longer boosts damage at all. His special ability deals 13 times his attack in side damage to all enemies and changes his own orb and your captain's orb into matching orbs. So it's better than Rakuyo, who gives Psi. If you use him as a sub on a slasher team or use him as a sub on a cerebral team, he gives himself and your captain a matching orb, which can be useful if you want to make sure you have at least 2 matching orbs on that critical turn. So great stats and slightly useful special, not very useful captain on Sulaimon. And then we have the star of the show, Hakuba or Cabbage. So Cabbage's captain ability is boost the attack of strength, dex, and quick characters by 2.5 times. So a 2.5 times red, green, blue captain, pretty good. But he boosts his own attack by 4 times. So that does not work with double Cavendish. If you have double Cavendish, one Cavendish boosts himself by 4 times, but the other Cavendish only boosts it by 2.5 times. So you don't get a double 4 times boost from double Cavendish captains. That would be ridiculous. I mean, that'd be like a Gainu good, but we're not a Gainu good. We're just Cavendish good. So Cavendish boosts his own attack by 4 times and red, green, and blue characters by 2.5 times. A very, very good captain ability. But what makes him very, very good and able to clear basically all the content that's come out so far is his special ability removes all positive buffs on your team. So it doesn't remove negative buffs. So you can't remove any sort of healing debuffs. You can't remove blindness. You can't remove anything like that. But it will remove all positive buffs, including conditional attack boosters, type boosters. It will remove damage reduction. It will remove any single positive buff that you use on your team. It gets rid of it. But if you just use those specials afterwards, then they'll stay on. So if you want to use Cavendish and Sabo specials on the same turn, use Cavendish first and then use Sabo afterwards. But if you do it in the other order, Sabo first, then Cavendish, that will remove that. Now this is actually in many ways a very, very good thing, because there are lots of Coliseum stages that will give you, or even look at the Gil Tesoro raid. Gil Tesoro raid, the mini boss on there, will boost the attack and orbs of your team by a small amount. And lots of Coliseums also boost your attack by 10%. So that way you can't use a type booster, or boost orbs by 10%, so you can't use Doflamingo. But with Cavendish, you just get rid of that. You get rid of that small boost, and you get to use Cavendish's stronger boost. And how strong is Cavendish's boost? Well, it deals 15 times his attack as typeless damage to all enemies, boosts his attack by 1.75 for 2 turns, and boosts his own orb by 1.75x for 2 turns, and locks his orb as a quick orb for 2 turns. So basically for 2 turns, remember that the orb boost from Cavendish does not affect any of your other orbs. It only affects the Cavendish that uses special, and it only boosts the Cavendish that uses special by 1.75x for 2 turns. So if you have Cavendish, you absolutely want to give him 100 attack cotton candies as fast as you can. When you use his special, the rest of your team does a little bit of damage, and then Cavendish ends really, really, really strong. Pair that out with other things that can boost your damage, like a raid boss Kizaru or a raid boss Sabo, and you start doing tons and tons of damage. So he is pretty good. And that special ability, Captain ability, great stats. He's also a slasher driven character, 1.46 thousand damage, or 1,000 attack. Cavendish is so good. One of the 6-star characters that just clears everything, especially as a captain, and especially when used as a friend captain too. There are lots of teams that want to use a 6-star Cavendish as a friend captain when paired up with like a Nell or something like that, so it's pretty good. Guys, that is the entire Cavendish batch. Cavendish, very good. All the characters pretty good. None of them are really a flop if you get them. And there are some really fun ones like Elisabet that's there for zombie teams to make those zombie teams extra fun. I've been Zeenigami. Good luck with your Sugofest pulls. Thank you so much for watching, and y'all stay beautiful.